So after this, we have one more race to go. But first up, it is DD2. And here is your starting grid for their third and final heat today. Len van Parijs will start from pole position, and alongside him will be Finland's Ville Viljalainen. So it has been a winner piece for these two. Zandvoort Schublak after the contact in Heat 1 with Glenn van Parijs' top exhaust shield going off and flying out whilst coming out of turn 12. He now starts again from P3. Obviously, these heats are based on the qualification side of things. Yanni Goossens in 4th. Mick Knowlton from the Netherlands in the 403 will start from 5th. Alongside him will be France's Anthony Millet in the 444. Paulo Bessin-Senes from KMD representing France in the 405 starts from 7th, and we'll have Jordi Klevel in the 4110 representing Belgium alongside. Completing the top 10, it's the 447 of Belgium, Sebastian de Conde, with Latvia's Rikards Subekis in the 471 alongside. Matthias Lund from Denmark in the 408 and Imke Arts from the Netherlands in the 421. They complete row number 6. Completing the 16-strong order, it is Aymeric Guérin, Enzo Boulogne, Hannes Border and Mikkel Tigerson representing France, Germany and Denmark respectively. 7 minutes are on the clock. And I'm going to throw an interesting statistic. I think I've counted 40 front-fairing penalties in the first day of competition of 2021 for the BNL karting series. You can see how excited people have been to come back to racing. But with that, you have to sort of take things with a little bit of a pinch of salt, so to speak. However, DD2 Masters are the only ones that have, from my reckoning, not had a front fairing penalty at all today. But obviously they're the smallest class on the grid, so you would say that the equation is in their favour. However, DD2 goes into the tram lines. Are we ready? Are we steady? Let's just see. Looks like we are going racing this time. Good start from Van Parijs. Schublak trying to go up the inside, and so was... Oh my goodness me, Mick Knowlton was trying to put the cat amongst the pigeons. Bessin-Senes trying to force his way through. Looks like Yanni Goossens kept in 4th for the minute. It's 2x2 hurrah going through into turn 5. And now this is where some of the drivers they know that they've got to do some work. And the sunlight fast fading. Time now is coming up to just 20 past 5 in the evening here in Limburg at Genk. But Van Parijs still leading, Schublak in 2nd. Viljalainen rounds out the top 3. Yanni Goossens, Mick Knowlton, Paulo Bessin-Senes. Anthony Millet rounds out what is going to be the top 7. 8th is Sebastian de Grande. 9th, I think, is going to be possibly Zubekis. I would hazard a guess, and that is the case. Matthias Lund rounds out the top 10. So, Jordi Klevel outside of the top 10. So is in 11th ahead of Germany's Hannes Border, who started 15th, now up into P12 is the German in the 468. Imke Arts down in 13th position. He's got a little bit of work to do, but hopefully might be able to get some clean air and get some pace under the contact patches from those Mojo D5 tyres. Viljalainen closing on Schublak for 2nd position. Van Parijs still leads them as we fast approach the completion of lap number 2 here in the final DD2 heat of the day. Through the right-hand sweeper at turn 12 that starts to open up, and you can carry the momentum through to the left-hand side to get a good run into turns 1 and 2. Van Parijs still leads. Schublak not on the offensive yet. Gets a bit closer through the apex. Viljalainen still keeping with them. The top 3 covered by less than 3/10. Through into turn 5. Oh, very, very differing lines from Van Parijs and Schublak going through into turn number 5. But now Schublak has really got to get a motor on and try and get past Van Parijs. However, Knowlton battling away with Bessin-Senes. And that looks to be, I think, is that Yanni Goossens that's dropped down? And he has. He's dropped down to 6th position. He's ahead of Anthony Millet, Sebastian de Grande, Ricard Sulbekis is now the top 3 squabbling away. You cannot separate the 3 of them, whatever you try and do. So Van Parijs leads. Gap now just under 2/10. As all, Striblak goes for the move up the inside of Van Parijs through turn 2, gets it done and dusted. But still just over halfway through this race. And this is where it all counts. And some good manoeuvring here. That was Anthony Millet on Janne Gussens, but Gussens got the move done as Van Parijs back down to now 3rd position. He's been in the lead for 3 of these laps, but now both Sander Striblak and Ville Villainen have now gotten past the 4:01 from Belgium. And last time I spoke to him, he was in the process of moving house. Well, that was not at the International Trophy. It was actually, funnily enough, I think it was the last round of the it was probably the last round of the BNL karting series last season, and that was early October, where I actually ended up doing a month road trip through multiple different countries, including France, Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany, Italy, Austria, and then back to the UK. So this is where things are going to get rather interesting. Glenn Van Parijs came back, and he didn't really have any expectations last year. And one of the things is that, oh, now there is a massive moment, and that's including the 471 of Richard Soubekis, and that is Anthony Millet, and that is on the inside. That's right on the racing line of turn 7. So Marshall's now going to the scene. So that was very, very difficult, and obviously not being in my usual commentary position, I'm sure my friend Guillaume Alvarez will have some insight for me post today, so I can update you all on the stream tomorrow morning. However, that has changed things quite spectacularly. So there is now Bessan Senes and Knowles are nearly touching wheels going down the Europalan, and Bessan Senes was round the outside and powered past the GKS Lemons Power driver. But now Van Parijs senses that time is fast running out. 1 minute and 47 seconds as they go through turn 10. So the top 3, they were covered by just under 0.4 of a second. But you could possibly think that in this respect, that maybe Bessan Senes and Knowlton will, if they don't start fighting between each other, they're going to have a chance at catching the top 3. Now, the gap last time around between Bessan Senes is, oh, there's been a massive, massive drama, and that is the 468, I believe. That is Hannes Borda running on the Maranello chassis, Nice Racing colours there at the front of it. And that was through turn 2. Van Parijs, in the meantime, got past Ville Villainen, and that was going through turn 6, I believe. So that instance means that with just under 60 seconds on the clock to go, Glenn Van Parijs could go for a second victory, but you can't factor out Ville Villainen. He's always got plenty of finished Sisu as that individual from every single time. He's the most soft-spoken individual. His English isn't the greatest, but he's always got a smile on his face off track. We go on to the penultimate lap, and now Glenn Van Parijs is sizing up a potential opportunity of an overtake on Sander Striblak. And you can just see, look how close he is. Nigh on bump drafting Striblak. These two used to be teammates. Oh, great move up the inside. But the switchback comes from Striblak. Van Parijs drifts wide a little bit. It was nigh on a little bit of rubbings racing there between the pair of them. And Villainen gets up the inside. Now Bessan Senes and Knowlton join the party. It's a quintet at the front battling for at least what could be 3rd position. If you're talking about Van Parijs, Bessan Senes and Knowlton, as Bessan Senes sends it up the inside through turn number 10 on Van Parijs. So bien fait Paulo Bessan Senes on that particular occasion. So we go on to the final lap for DD2 today on the opening day of the BNL karting series kickoff, and I think that Ville Villainen could have an opportunity to strike on the final lap and get past Striblak. But Striblak will want to make it 3 different winners from 3 different races. After the dramas he suffered in the first race after contact with Glenn Van Parijs, he's trying to make sure that he provides a bit of redemption for not just himself, but also towards the team of Stampex Motorsport. through turn 7 for the final time. Viljainen closing on Striblak in the latter stages. And this is where things will get rather interesting, because we go down into turn 10 for the final time. Through into 11. A great job there by Zander Striblak. He is held on at this particular moment. And through the final corner, Stanpex Motorsports, Zander Striblak takes the victory by 59 thousandths of a second ahead of Vili Villainen. Paulo Besancenes steals third place within the last lap and a half on Glenn Van Parijs. Mick Knowlton in fifth, as the rest of the field. We had 3 retirements in that race: Jori Klevoort and Anthony Millet and Ricard Subekis. So I would imagine, they say it takes 2 to tango, but 3. They do say that too many cooks spoil the broth, especially when it comes to an accident. So Jori Klevoort actually retired a couple of laps later, so whether he was an unwilling or unwanted participant in that. So Millet and Subekis retire on lap number 4. However, let's have a look at the final finishing order for DD2 provisional standings. Zander Striblak takes the win by 59 thousandths of a second ahead of Vili Villainen from Finland. Paulo Besancenes takes third, so 3 different nationalities represented in the top 3. Glenn Van Parijs and Mick Knowlton round out the top 5 ahead of Jan Negusens, Sebastian de Grand, Matthias Lund, Emerick Gerhard, Imke Arts, Mikkel Tigerson, Enzo Boulogne, and Hannes Border rounding out the 13 that finished. And there is a very, very forlorn cart. And that back bumper on the 471 of Ricard Subekis is not tracking true right now.